They were the Romeo and Juliet of punk rock, right down to the tragic ending. Their love for each other was only eclipsed by their lust for drugs. Our number 2 act of love gone wrong features the dark romance of Sid and Nancy.
The punk scene in the late 70s in the UK, it was an expression of the frustration of the working class. Bad jobs, nowhere to go, drugs on the street, and the music represented was a reflection of that aggressive attitude.
Nancy Spungen met Sid Vicious in London in 1977. He was the bass player of the Sex Pistols. She was a punk rock groupie. The two tortured souls were drawn to each other immediately.
The two of them together there was a chemistry there that just shouldn't have happened. I mean, they were like dynamite together, and when they got together, they exploded.
Sid and Nancy were soon inseparable. The couple moved into a friend's flat and shared a dirty mattress on the floor. They had few belongings, but the troubled girl from Philadelphia brought plenty of baggage.
No one liked Nancy. Simple as that. Nobody liked her. To the other band members, it was just that once she was around, Sid could think of nothing other than Nancy.
Singer Johnny Rotten begged the bass player to get rid of Nancy, but there was no turning back. Sid was in love.
Nancy could have been perceived back then as the punk rock Yoko Ono because she was taking the attention of a key member of the band.
In early 1978, the Sex Pistols traveled to the U.S. Nancy stayed behind in England. The tour was a flop, and Sid was a mess without his Nancy.
He started mutilating himself on stage. So he would smash a bottle and stick it in his chest if the band weren't getting the right reaction. He started in an amazingly fast downward spiral.
Midway through the U.S. dates, Johnny Rotten left the band. He was fed up.
He basically had told me he had enough because it was just a nightmare.
In August of 1978, Sid and Nancy set up house at the $35 a night Chelsea Hotel in New York City. Sid's music took a back seat to his drug addiction.
The Chelsea had a sort of fairly sleazy rock and roll reputation at the time, which meant it wouldn't be that difficult to get heroin, albeit extremely low-grade street-level heroin.
At 9:45 a.m. on October 12, 1978, the hotel operator at the Chelsea received a call from room 100. The voice on the line said, "Someone is hurt." The caller was Sid Vicious. Police arrived on the scene and found Spungen's lifeless body under the sink.
Sid couldn't remember a thing about the night before. All he knew was the girl who had been his salvation, the girl who'd been the closest thing he'd known to genuine love, was under the sink in black bra and panties with a 14-inch Jaguar knife sticking out of her.
20-year-old Nancy died from a deep stab wound in her stomach. Sid was arrested, charged with Nancy's murder, and released on $50,000 bail.
I think Sid had nothing to do with it. Somewhere along the line, he made a statement when he was completely out of it, which was the wrong thing to do. He would not do that to her.
10 days after her death, Sid attempted suicide.
He basically went into the bathroom, smashed a light bulb, took a piece of the light bulb, and slashed both arms open.
Sid's mother, Ann, flew in from England to look after him while he awaited trial. Vicious tried rehab, but the pull of heroin was too strong. Once out on the street, he was quickly using again.
Anne had been a heroin addict and had taken the cold turkey route. She said, "I didn't want my boy going through that." She bought him small amounts.
Ann stayed with her son the evening of February 1st, 1979, as he injected heroin into his veins.
She's helping her son through a rough time. Unfortunately, what she's doing is also very destructive because she's feeding him with substances that are making him even more manic and even more psychotic.
The next morning, she took him a cup of tea, but her son was dead. Sid Vicious was only 21 years old.
I think the question surrounding Sid's death of being overdose or suicide, I think basically, for me, it's a combination of both. I don't think he was strong enough to continue without Nancy.
About the Sid and Nancy relationship and their story is they are like the archetype tortured souls that meet within the enclave of rock and roll.
Coming up, an unthinkable act of vengeance from a woman scorned. Act of love gone wrong #1 when we return.